Welcome back to a new episode of Streaming Tech. I am the one Christo, and this wall behind me just is really white all of a sudden. Welcome back, everybody. I know it has been a little while since I've put one of these videos together. I had been a little bit busy with the new Gwent expansion, putting out deck guides, stuff like that. Speaking of Gwent, if you are interested in checking out my Twitch stream, you can click on the link below. I am normally streaming Tuesday, Thursdays, and alternating Saturdays and Sundays, so check that out. In the meantime, today we are going to talk about something that's slightly outside of Twitch. We're going to be talking about YouTube. Anybody who's looked into, how to get your name out there on Twitch and things like that, they have read and heard that Twitch is probably the worst when it comes to actual discoverability. If you go in and you search for a game, sure, you can get a list of people, but not much more than that. They're going to be categorized by viewers, and if you're like me and still a newer streamer, you're kind of at the bottom of that list, and chances are people aren't going to scroll down 5 pages to find you. You need a way to be upfront, discoverable, and in people's faces. The best way to do that is YouTube. Great way to highlight different content you've put out, stream highlights, deck guides, things like that are going to attract people first to YouTube, and then you can bring them over to Twitch. Now, you can put out the best YouTube videos possible, but nobody's going to know if they don't click on them. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because there are 2 main ways to get people to click on your videos. Well, 3 technically. First, they have to find your video. So keywords, things like that are super important, but we're going to focus mainly on the thumbnail. If they're looking at the picture and they don't want to click on it, they aren't enticed by it, or it just generally looks like crap, then you're probably not going to get much traffic. Having a clickbaity title doesn't hurt either, just on a side note, but we're going to focus on the image aspect of it. I'm going to actually jump into my own YouTube channel and kind of walk you through the junk that I put together in the first few videos and show how it's evolved, and that's using one main tool, and that is Adobe Spark. All right, friends, so here we have it. Here is my YouTube page. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, actually, let's just stick here. Let's look at the previous streaming tech videos. So we've got a whole bunch of this same kind of deal, and I threw my face on one. I threw a couple little things on another. It doesn't really look great by any means, and it's all just kind of the same. If somebody's taking a quick peek at my videos, there really doesn't look like there's much difference here. If you scroll down to some of the Gwent highlights, you're going to see some of the same images pop up. We have, the one Crystal presents Learning Gwent Pro Rank Edition and all kinds of different things. So it really doesn't do much for the actual content. Some of the other stuff I did was the most basics of screen captures from the actual highlight video itself. Again, not doing much video-wise to attract people to actually click on it. And you'll notice that the view count tends to reflect that in like the dozens of views, 12 to 29 views. Now, let's take a look at some of the more recent Gwent guides I put together. And as you can tell, there is definitely a whole different aspect to them, and just the video and how it looks. And we're talking about views now in the couple of hundreds, as opposed to the single and barely double digits that we see in streaming tech. So what I did was I started using Adobe Spark. And it is something that is super simple to use. It is free for 2 months. You get a 2-month free trial, and then after that, you're paying $9.99 a month. So when you log into Spark, you're basically going to see this. And the beauty of Spark is that you get to take a template and then build off of it. So you're not coming up from scratch. You're not opening up Paint with a blank canvas. You're really getting something to build off of. So if I were to go into here and I look up YouTube, perfect example. You can even click YouTube thumbnails, and it'll give you just a basic breakout of what you see here. And then you jump into all of them and you look at changing some of the images. You can change the text. You can do a lot of that stuff. So what I'm going to do for you right now with you is I'm going to go in and I'm going to take a look at one of my videos, and we're going to go and make some changes to it. So this Episode 1 of Streaming Tech is my current setup, and I think this is a great place to start. Instead of seeing my stupid face and me just copy and pasting my overlays on it, let's go in and actually make something that looks a little bit more attractive. So if I go in and I stick with the YouTube thumbnail because it creates a nice image size-wise, and don't get me wrong, I said YouTube thumbnail, but you can do a whole lot of other stuff. You can look at blog posts, you can grab Instagram, ads, promos, Amazon sellers, all kinds of stuff. There are even, I'm not sure if it'll come up searching through Twitch, but you've got Twitch banners. If you're looking to do something on your channel, you have Twitch overlays, offline schedules, all kinds of things. So a lot going on there. We're going to go back to YouTube and we're going to stick with the YouTube banner. What do I like here? The beauty of it is, and like I'm on page 1, but we can keep going and going. There's 682 YouTube thumbnail examples that come out. So even if you just take a different thumbnail example template every time, you're going to have plenty to go through hundreds of videos before you have to even repeat one. Alternatively, you can decide, I really like this one here, the video game tips with Taylor. You tweak it a little bit, make it your own, and then you use that one more regularly. Kind of like what I did with my overlays, but something, you know, actually nicer. I kind of like this tutorial one. I like the different style of writing. We've got an image on one side. I'm going to edit this template. So what that's going to do is actually load me up the template. Exactly what you saw, exactly what you see. Nothing changes there. So we're going to look at this guy. And what I want to do is, I don't want this picture because that's not me. That's not my picture. And this video has nothing to do with a Canon camera. So we're going to remove that. Now I have the option of just deleting the image and leaving that box there. I can delete the cell and make it all one image in the back, but I have an idea for what I want to throw in the back. So I'm going to delete the content. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to add my own photo. I took a photo of my initial streaming setup. I've got it in here. It's called current setup. We're going to pin it to the background. So we can move it around freely and allow it to adjust side to side or whatever the case may be, but we're going to pin it to the background. Just like this. Now we've got an image. It's stuck there. We can resize it. So we keep it out of the way of maybe some of the words, or maybe we don't. We can also move it around within that space we have. Do something like that. Maybe this guy goes over a little. This guy stays there for now. And then we'll dive in a little bit more and we'll say, well, we don't want the word tutorial there. That's not important. We're going to do hashtag streamingtech. Done. Boom, look at that. Well, that looks fancy. So we'll just change the size a little bit to make sure it's filling in the space nicely. Now, what did we call this? This was episode 1, my current setup. Boom. Episode 1. A little excited there. My current setup. Boom. Got a little bit bigger. Move it around a little bit. Even move it a little bit to the left there. There you go. It can be that easy. I'm actually going to move this guy up a little bit. We're going to add in another photo because I like sticking my cartoony face in the image. So we're going to wait for that to load up. And we're going to throw that in a corner here. And that's pretty much going to be it. And of course, you can do a lot more. Obviously, you can add different images. You can add different text. I seem to have completely lost that photo. Let's try it again. I have a couple different versions of it, so maybe I grabbed the wrong one. You can even connect to Dropbox, Google Photos, Drive, and pull things off of there. You can pull stock photos out as well. So they did both work. So you can pull stock photos if you prefer. You can, so we'll make that little face. I'll put it in this corner here. I want to put it in that corner there. How do we want to do this? Might be a little bit big. We'll make it a little smaller. Oh yeah. We can try that. Now, again, when you were adding photos before, we can go back in here. You can upload a photo. You can find free stock photos. They've got a ton of them here if you're looking, whatever, computer. So you have all kinds of stuff you can mess around with, not even need your own images. So I think this is huge. It's a great way to start. Don't get me wrong. This is not a long-term solution. You're going to want to create your own stuff, but to start off having templates here, being able to adjust colors, you can even add your own brand. So if I wanted to add my brand, I can upload my logo. I could pick the colors I want. I could pick the font I want. And then when I am in an image, well, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to be able to go in and just say, all right, we're going to take this image and we're going to add my brand to it. And all of a sudden it's going to flip all the colors and everything to make it just the way I want it. But we're going to stick with this right now. We're going to use this. I think this is fine for a little refresher and update on my first episode. So episode 1, streaming tech, we'll save that guy and we're good to go. So honestly, this took what? 30 seconds to do? Okay, 5 minutes, let's say. Huge difference when we're talking about this versus talking about that overlay that I slapped together and found 2 PNGs online and squished them in and said versus. Like, this is a big difference, makes it look cleaner, more professional, and I personally enjoyed a lot more. And this, like I said, was done in 5 minutes. If you spend a bit of time playing with the tool, you're going to see a lot of extra functionality I haven't even dove into today. So I think it's well worth it. Again, you get a 2-month free trial. I will throw the link to Adobe Spark in the description. I also love the fact you're not downloading anything. You're not really using a ton of resources. You can access it straight in Chrome. I think that's a huge upside. So let's dive into this. Give it a shot. You get 2 months free and then $9.99 after that, which is really nothing for the quality that you're going to get to put out in the snap of your fingers versus fighting in Paint or whatever it is to try and find another cheap alternative. So thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to continue to put out more streaming tech videos in the very near future. I know I fell a little bit behind. I've got some catching up to do, but we've got some exciting stuff coming to the channel. Some new overlays, which I'm going to put together within Streamlabs or Stream Elements. I haven't decided yet which one I want to do, but that's going to kind of be the next big change to my setup. So until then, take it easy, have fun streaming, and I will see you all soon.
Oh, what a lovely tea party.